Welcome to day 3 of our Bible devotions, of our study of the book of 2 Samuel. There was a time when David was so confident already because God has given him peace already. So during this time, in chapter 11, David became a little bit complacent. So he did not go to war. He remained in the palace. It says here in chapter 11, verse 1, in the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they ravaged the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. So what happened when David remained in Jerusalem? David saw a girl, and that girl happened to be someone else's wife. But David still tried to get what he wants. So eventually, he ended up killing the husband just so that he can get the wife. And David did a bad thing. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible sin. And in chapter 12, the Lord sent the prophet Nathan to rebuke David. I will read. And the Lord sent Nathan to David. So Nathan came to David and said to him, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you out of the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives, and into your arms, and gave you the house of Israel and of Judah. And if this were too little, I would add to you as much more. Why have you despised the word of the Lord to do what is evil in His sight?" God is saying, I have already given you enough. And yet, you did not feel contented with that. You took someone else's property. You took the wife of someone else. So, David received the punishment for this. And it was terrible. People remember the story as a stain in the leadership of David. In fact, there are some group of people, some religion, who believes that the Christians and the Jews, they distorted the Bible. Okay, maybe I'll just say it. Okay, the Muslims, they believe in the Bible. They believe in the Old Testament specifically. But they believe that the Jews and the Christians, they distorted the Old Testament. Why? Because for the Muslims, David is a prophet. And a prophet will not do something bad like this. For them to see something bad in the Bible, that means it's corrupted. That means it's gone wrong. There's something wrong with that. But here's the truth about the Bible that you need to understand. Yes, you will see lots of terrible things in the Bible. You will read lots of bad things in the Bible. But whenever there are those bad things, you have to understand first. You have to understand the distinction between a description and a prescription. During those times, like this, in the time of David, when he sinned, the Bible is describing, it's descriptive, describing what David is doing. It is not prescribing us, the readers, to sin. The prescription of the Bible comes in the forms of laws and commands. If it is not a law of God, if it is not a command of God, most of the time, it is just a description of what the people of God were doing. And guess what? They're not holy. They're not. So, our principle for today is, true success is being faithful in spite of sins and failures. Now, this sin, I told you, this stained the leadership of King Saul. This stained the leadership of King David. This could have stopped him. He could have grieved so much to the point that, okay, maybe I'll just step down as a king. I'll just stop. No more. No, God. You can't use me anymore. I'm a wretched man. I sinned. Maybe I'll just quit. I won't be a king. Or maybe, since I killed someone, maybe I deserve to die. I'll just hang myself. I'll just kill myself. I'll just stop here because there's no point. I stumbled, I sinned. But true success is being faithful in spite of sins and failures. How can we be faithful in spite of sins and failures? Now, this is the truth about the Christian faith. Being faithful means you stay with God. It does not mean that you are perfect. You never will be. True faith is putting your trust in God. And David, if you will read the Psalms, the songs that David wrote, David grieved of his sin But he did not stop believing in God. He did not stop putting his faith in God. He put his faith in God, knowing that even though he's bad, God can cleanse him. God can restore him. That is real faith. And that is true success. True success is you will not let failures, mistakes, and errors to stop you. You will not let those paralyze you. You will keep on going, knowing that God will give you the strength to persevere, that God will give you the strength to continue and to fail.